So like I said, it's at this point it's not about both. You can intertwine both to understand what you can do. I just gave you two examples of two certifications that quantify IT, cyber into AI. So there's so many different things out there. So they should focus on both if that's what you want to feel you do. And I think what's happening right now in the environment. Like I just heard somebody earlier today saying they're teaching their folks to learn how to do AI, not just secure AI, but learn how to work with AI because if you don't have that, they're not going to be set up for success. So I think both are needed now. That's a great question. I mean, that's a question for the universities. I think a university that has gotten it down from a certification slash education perspective, probably Western Governors. But I think Western Governors really goes all over the sands certification, if I'm not mistaken, right? So maybe they should be looking and evaluating if that needs to change. But that's ultimately, case by case basis for the universities. And overloading. I mean, that can also be very subjective because some people might not be overloaded. Some people think they might be overloaded. So that's a case by case, student by student, university by university situation there. Yeah, I mean, like I said, put in the time to study. I mean, after you get home, eat some dinner, relax a little bit, and get to it, right? I mean, when I went to school my last year and a half, I was taking 18-hour course loads and I had three jobs. I worked midnight at Target, midnight stalker, so went in at 10 p.m., got out at like 5 in the morning, slept for a few hours, and had class at 9:30, right? And I did that for a year and a half, which is not ideal and not recommended. But if I could do it, you guys can, put in the work, put in the effort, put in the blood, sweat, and tears to get what you need to be, right? I mean, ultimately, it's for you, for your livelihood, for your families. So you got to do what you got to do to, balance, but also not get burned out, right? So you got to go all out, but you got to do it within reason because then you'll just burn out, and ultimately that's not going to help anyone with that situation. Yeah, no, of course. I mean, those are always going to be having that, especially the CISSP. CISSP has always been the flagship security certification, right? CISM as well. So they're not going away. They're changing, right? If you notice, those get updated every 3 or 4 years. If you're not familiar with those certification bodies, they get new questions, they get new study material every 3 or 4 years. So depending where you come in, you might be if you're using outdated study material and there's new certification that got updated. Guess what? You're gonna be behind the eight ball because you're not getting the latest and greatest from a certification standpoint to study. I mean, now with the new changes and new updates, I think all of them are going to start including AI and implementing AI in their study of the certification body of work. They call it the BOK. So Security Plus, I heard, is looking into implementing AI into their new iteration. Obviously, all the AI. AWS entry level certifications for GCP, AWS, all the big cloud service providers, they're all going to be looking into that, right? So they're all going to be bridging the gap between cybersecurity AI, and that's only going to be out there, not so much for students because I haven't, like I mentioned, only 18% have actually direct line of sight to these sort of certifications, but more and more universities and college programs are building that up, right? So I mentioned South Texas College in McAllen here in Texas, Miami-Dade in the Miami area, and also UTSA here in San Antonio. So all these schools are trying to get ramped up with that. I mean, there's so many, right? I mean, ultimately, it's all about having, a risk assessment performed, having a clear inventory of what's actually using AI in your environment to start understanding what are the limitations, what's actually happening in the environment to find out where they can go, how much they can actually stretch for using AI in their environments, right? So having that sort of line of sight is going to be critical. So that's just part of governance. I mean, yeah. So, be involved, do internships, try to do as much as operational hands-on projects and things that you can put out there for people to see and showcase. And that's only going to help you, get that job, right? I mean, the degree sometimes is just a placeholder, it's just a paper, and it's just, something to get you through the toll gates of the ATS, applicant tracking systems and things like that. But if you can use that to maximize your attention, to maximize your study, to maximize your preparation, to get the certifications, you'll be more job ready than ever. I mean, sometimes it's a win-win if you kind of work it the right way. You can use the degree to help you augment your knowledge.